Want to see how my mom's hair went from this to this? Well, keep watching. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lena's Lane. I'm coming back with another video about our hair growth products, and this time I'm doing my mom's hair. So my mom stops over on Tuesdays and helps me with my son. And so today I said, well, Mom, I'll just do your hair today because it's been about 3 weeks since she's done her hair. So right now I'm just coating her hair with our spray and loosening up those curls. And then I also added a steam for her because, she is older, and whenever there's any type of friction being done to her hair as far as combing or washing, you want to take as much time as you can to make sure you loosen her curls, because my mom is really, really tender head and it hurts her sometimes when I either finger detangle or comb detangle. So I'm just adding in the steamer here to loosen up her hair, her curls, and I'm parting her hair into 4 sections. 4 sections always work for me to distribute product evenly into the tangle right. So I'm going back in with the spray on each section. I'm melting those tangles again and working the product in the hair. I'm going to pre-poo her hair with our hair oil right there. And this also will be applied a little bit to her scalp, and I'll be massaging her scalp and making sure the product is in her hair and on her scalp to help stimulate the growth. My mom, as I said, my mom is older, so she has the same issues as far as hair loss at the crown that I have, but hers was actually worse. So as you see, I'm just prepping her hair for a pre-poo so that I may apply our cleanser. And I always make sure that I go through her edges and see if the new growth is coming in, and it is. If you look around her, closer to her scalp, her hair is thicker there, which is really, really good. Now, my mom has been using our system for about a month and a half, actually a little bit over 2 months, and she's seeing significant growth. More specifically, her edges and her new growth towards her scalp has grown in more thicker. So I'm just going in and I'm applying that oil all over. Our oil is a really, really good detangler in addition with the spray. And I always tell people when they ask about the collection, if you get the oil and the spray, you're pretty much way ahead of the game as far as hair growth, because these 2 products together, you would definitely see some progress within 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm just twisting up this section, and I'm also making sure that she's not shedding too many hairs, because we definitely don't want to lose a lot, and she's not. This is a little small shed ball from this one section. So I'm just going to go ahead on, and I'm going to speed up through the video with going through her sections and applying the product, applying the oil and the spray so that we may detangle her hair and cleanse it. And our cleanser is also a detangler as well, but she won't lose as many strands, and I won't have to use a curling tool, which is a dentin brush for me. Not a dentin brush, but an easy detangler brush for me. And I'm going to curl her ends with. So I want to make sure we use as less tools as possible so that we can save as many strands as possible. So now as I speed up through, you're gonna see how I work my fingers through her hair. I do not use a brush for any of these sections. I'm going through each section and making small mini sections just to make sure that it's combed through and the product is distributed evenly. And I check the shed ball after each section as well, because we want to make sure we're keeping track of how much she's losing as she uses the products. Right now I'm going to steam the front because she's very, very sensitive in the front. So I definitely want as much moisture as possible without over soaking the hair. And the steamer is just giving that extra detangle capabilities with the product. So I'm also massaging the front of her scalp because it is hereditary for us to lose our hair in the front, but we are battling those hereditary rumors today, okay? Because this spray and this oil is thickening up our hair very, very well. Now, I just finished dealing with postpartum shedding, so my hair is a little bit thinner at the front than my mom's, but at one point in time, my mom's hair was very, very thin at the front. And look, she's not losing that many hair strands. Her twists are full and juicy, and it has been a long time since my mom has had full juicy twists because our hair has been thinning over the years. And I'm just continuing to work that product in, melt the oil into the tangles, and get the hair ready to be cleansed. So we're finishing our last section, checking our shed ball, and look, we are not losing a lot of hair. If you have a lot of hair coming out of your hair, out of your scalp while you're washing your hair, you really need to pay attention to your stressors, your hormones, and things like that. So now we are going in with our cleanser, and we are starting with the scalp. Now, our cleanser cleanses the scalp and also leaves your hair pH balanced. And it's very, very important for hair growth that your scalp is clean. And here I'm not applying a lot of product, and it's still going to cleanse her whole entire head and scalp. And of course, her hair strands. So I start at the base instead of the root, and then I work that product down. I do not soak the entire patch because there is water in the product, so it does hydrate enough to go down the section fully and thoroughly. So I'm just rubbing that in. If you can tell how the hair reacts, well, it's shiny. It's of course it's not a lathering shampoo, so it does really well with stimulating growth, thickening the hair, cleansing the scalp, lessening dandruff and lice. My mother or I do not deal with dandruff or lice, but if you do have issues with that or dermatitis, this is a very good, safe, and natural product to apply to help with those scalp issues. When we tend to the scalp and we get those issues together first, then the rest of the hair will follow. And a healthy scalp leads to healthy hair strands. So of course I'm going to go in, I'm going to speed up this process just to show me putting in the cleanser. I'll go in section by section. I do not use a whole bunch of product. If you look, you don't see a whole bunch of residue. And I treat my mom's hair the same way as mine. And it works pretty well. Now, usually sometimes people leave the cleanser in and let it sit, and that is totally okay, but it's not mandatory. So I'm back at the top, and notice how even just with her pre-poo, her curls and her twists are just juicy. And I'm working the product especially up at the scalp in the front because we want to keep the thickness there, and we want to keep it full and healthy. And you don't need a lot, and I just distribute it down the whole section. And then I finish it on up. Remember to make sure you check your hair strands to see if you're losing a lot. If you're paying attention, there isn't a whole bunch of hair coming out of my mom's head, and that is tons of growth because we're used to shedding a lot of hairs, and you don't have to. So I'm just finishing working that product in. I'm not going to let her sit under a dryer or anything. I'm going to go ahead on and cleanse this out, cleanse the cleanser out, wash that out, and then I'm going to come back and do her wash and go with our Socialite products. So I've washed all the cleanser out, and here we go. If you see her hair is bouncy, I'm going in with our leave-in conditioner, which is an aloe vera and avocado based leave-in conditioner. I'm just going to saturate each section and work that product through the hair. Now, if you also notice with this product, there is not a whole bunch of creamy residue because this is a water-based product, and it goes into the hair strands and it absorbs. You'll start to see her curls form, and what I like to do is work the leave-in in first, then work in our next product, which is our sea moss hair gel, and you'll see that shortly. And I put both of those in so I get the section wet with the water in the products, and I brush that through. And so I take my time, I make sure I coat the entire section from root to ends. And there's my sea moss gel. And this styling gel is a light holding, but it provides a ton of volume. And that's what my mom hair needs and my hair needs. And who doesn't love a little volume? So I go in and I apply that sea moss gel all over. And those curls are starting to clump together and define, but still give it a loose enough curl for some volume. And then my easy detangler brush, and I pop those curls out. And if you notice, I only use the brush when it's time to style. I do not overbrush her hair. I take my time with it because it hurts her if I comb too or brush too hard. So most of the work I've done with my fingers, and that's why I love these products, because you can pretty much get through a tough head of hair with your fingers first and then use the brush and the tools less than you've had to use them in the past. And that's why I really love these products. And so if you check the shine, you check the curl definition of my mom's hair, we are going to go ahead and do the rest of the sections. And we also seal in that moisture that we put in with the leave-in and the sea moss hair gel with that oil. And it's very important to put oil over the sea moss hair gel so that it won't flake and it won't be crunchy. So it'll feel like your hair once it dries. And I go back in and I brush that oil in because you want those curls to shine and pop. Now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through each section. I'm going to do the same thing for each section. We're going to do the spray, we're going to do the leave-in, and then we're going to do the gel, and then we're going to do the oil for each single section. And we're just going to work that in, define those curls. Now I did want to clump my mom's curls with the brush because sometimes our hair could get a little bit frizzy at the top or just a little bit too poofy. So I have a light definition on the top because my mom likes to pick her hair out a little bit, and she also likes to keep it up for a while, and then when she takes it down she likes to pick it out and make it fuller. So I want to help her style it to be fuller, so I don't apply too much gel to make it super flat. So she still has loose definition, but she won't have any flaking, and it'll still be full. So we also want to wash the front of our hair with the easy detangler too, because you don't want to comb out too many strands. And the front of our hair is very, very sensitive. So I go in and I do make some curls in certain sections, and just to make sure she has that definition. And if you can see the top of her hair, she had a bald spot just like me, and that's where I got it from. But look at it growing in. Look at it. It is doing so well. My mom's spot has grown in pretty much all the way. And I go through and define a little bit of curls that didn't get all the way defined, or I just redo it so that when I blow dry it to keep the length retention, um, it will still be clumped together, and then the curls will separate naturally on their own. So here I'm taking my blow dryer. I don't have a diffuser on this. I think I broke the piece on my clip, but when I do, I love this blow dryer. So when I do use it, I use it from the top down. I do not blow the curls up. You want to stretch the hair at the roots as much as possible. And there it is. Once her hair is all the way dry, she's ready.
So light, and it's spray is fabulous. I spray it at night, and then I oil it and wrap it in my satin bonnet. And the next morning when I shake it out, I just add a little oil to my hair and just wear it the way I want to wear it.